Hey guys, what's up? In today's video I want to talk a little bit about E3 2016, and you might have been wondering what happened to me because I didn't do a video in a very long time. But I'm still here and I've actually kept gaining subscribers throughout the time, and that's great. You know, very few people unsubscribed. I will always create new videos, I was just very busy, but I want to welcome everyone who's new to the channel because I'm just happy to have more people discussing the topics and getting into it. And that's what we're going to do right now, because I'm going to talk about E3 2016. Now, last year I made a video that broke down all the press conferences and I went through them one by one and spoke about what games we can expect. It doesn't really work like this year. Obviously, I could do a video like that, but it's very focused on games, right? And then you have a game like, for instance, Red Dead Redemption 2, which I hope we will see, but where would you fit that in? You know, who would show that? So rather than doing that again, I chose to do a little bit more of an open format, and I'm going to talk about a few things that I think will be relevant at this year's E3. Now, the first thing that kind of stuck on my mind, right, the more I think about it, every year I get really hyped about E3 and I can't wait to see the press conferences and all the new titles. But as someone who works in design, someone who works in marketing, you actually see the whole thing just as like a big marketing bubble, right, that gets blown up every year. And you start asking yourself these questions, kind of like, is E3 actually just like a really dirty marketing event where they shove brands up your face? In a way it is, because I catch myself every year when I watch the conferences thinking to myself, oh my god, what a crappy piece of marketing, blah blah, right? Where they're just like, an outstanding immersive experience, and you just watch it and you're just like, that's crap, man. Like, just show me the game. So it is a big marketing masturbation, basically, but nonetheless, I love it, right? And overall, I have to say, with E3, it feels much more like a win-win situation, right? We as nerds get fed our hype, right? We are excited to see new games and we get spoon-fed new titles and we get loads of content that we can rant about for the next year, so we love it. And then on the other hand, for developers and publishers, is kind of the best advertising platform in the world. I mean, yes, it only caters to insiders, right? People who go to E3 are either nerds, are gamers, or like press. You don't get casual people. And that's exactly why companies like EA now bring their event out of the convention and create their own event. Some in the city, they call it EA Play. And I think they just want to reach new casual audiences. So that's really exciting that we see this year for the first time, that a company like EA moves out to reach new audiences and to bring people in who haven't heard of maybe ever of Battlefield, and they can try Battlefield 1 and hopefully have a great time and buy it. Because in a nutshell, for these brands, like EA, this is the only way to grow. I think they already have or that's what they believe at least, all the core gamers buy their balls, right? And they hammer out the next Battlefield. And all these people are going to buy it anyway. But if you want to grow your audience, you need to reach these casual people. And I think there are like desperate measures with many companies at the moment trying to reach these kind of casual people who all game on their iPhone, and we want them to have controllers and Xboxes in their living room. But I'm driving slightly from the topic, but I think it's really exciting to see to what extent it's going to make a difference for EA by creating this EA Play event. And they're actually touring it. It also comes to London just for one day though. But generally I find it's a really interesting idea. Okay, let's get a bit more into E3. That was just like a general thought or like kind of a concept that I had on E3. But I am still nonetheless, no matter what I said before, I'm really hyped for it and I want to see all these games. So it definitely works on me, that marketing event. But we're starting off with Microsoft. So their show is going to happen on June 13th, 5:30 p.m. British Standard Time, and then US time is 9:30 a.m. But I'm going to put the full schedule of E3's press conferences down in the description so I don't have to go through all that content. It's not really exciting. So the big thing, there are two big things for Microsoft's press conference, right? One being the Xbox 1.5, however you want to call it. I think it already has like a ridiculous name they gave it. Like, what was it? Like the Xbox Spectre or something really. I forgot the name. It doesn't matter. But the point is that there has been so much rumor and speculation about this. I think we can be sure that it will have a stronger hardware than the previous or the current version. We unfortunately heard and had it confirmed that it will not have exchangeable hardware, so you can interchange elements elements. At some point they said it's going to have that, and I made a video about that, but then they kind of made a U-turn, and it was all a bit unclear what exactly will happen. It never was, I think, a proper statement. It was just taken from a report to some investors or something, so it wasn't 100% confirmed. Now they have confirmed there will be no exchangeable hardware, and I think the same counts for Sony's PS4.5, but I'm going to get to that at a later point. The other big thing, besides the new console, I think will be these so-called universal Windows platforms applications that Microsoft has spoken about. Basically what it is that they want to unify Xbox and Windows 10 as one platform, and everyone can play with everyone. But then they already made a U-turn a while ago and said, oh, but not all games are coming to both platforms. That was never really promised, and they kind of wiggled their way out of it, which is a real shame. So they're going to have some Xbox exclusive games, but most games will be cross-platform, or at least that's what they promise. And I think the part where they're going to talk about the new Xbox 1.5 whatever console and the whole Windows 10 Link platform, that will be one thing, right? I think they're going to justify the new console by saying that it's obviously more powerful and all that, but it also links with Windows 10 and the player base is much bigger, and what an amazing experience. I really can see them doing that. The other rumor, really, that I read about is whether Microsoft steps into the whole VR territory. If you are following the E3 news, then you know that in the past, Phil Spencer mentioned already that Microsoft has a quite good relationship with Oculus, but he also said that they do not plan to bring VR to the Xbox. I mean, obviously now they're kind of launching a new console, but if you want to hear my personal opinion, I think that would be the best choice not to do VR right now, because the Vive and Oculus are launched, right? And it doesn't really feel like it's the new big thing to me personally, right? I mean, obviously numbers are limited and a lot of people pre-ordered and they're still waiting and people are excited about it. You know, I'm not saying that nobody's excited, and I tried it out and it's a cool thing and all, but it doesn't feel like the revolution that people maybe would hope it would have, you know, maybe in 2-3 years, who knows, but right now it doesn't feel like it. And also, there are no really proper games that get me excited as kind of a gamer. So it's, you know, just stay away from VR right now. I think that's a good decision. Let's see how it pans out. It wouldn't be the first time that, you know, we thought a new technology reinvents everything and then it just dies down. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but there is a possibility. And we just have to wait and see. And it might be the next big thing. And again, it might not be. So I think Microsoft is doing good in not jumping on the VR train right now. And I think they have a lot to talk about with the whole Xbox and Windows 10 thing. And you might remember a while ago I made a video in which I was really excited about exactly that. And I was like, oh my god, great. You know, we're going to be able to play with the Xbox people, you know, and it's going to be console exclusive titles coming to the PC and cross-platform gaming. I was so excited. But now that I read more about it, I'm so disappointed, honestly, because all it is, this whole Xbox on Windows 10 thing, basically is just trying to open a new store and get Microsoft to earn more money on the PC as well. You know, if they would have said we're making a deal with Steam, right? And they said in previous interviews that they love Steam. Obviously, it brought so many players to the PC and basically installed Windows for them. But if they would have made a deal with Steam and said, look, we bring all our exclusive games to Steam and merge the Xbox network with the Steam community or something like that, a deal like that, which would really show that they have an honest interest in bringing communities together, right? Then I would have said, genius, love that, keep doing it, amazing. But it looks like, from what we see at the moment, that they only want to open their own store and they're going to sell games in a separate store that is connected to Windows 10, obviously. So I'm just really disappointed that they're doing that. It remains to be seen how it pans out. I mean, I run Windows 10. I'm definitely going to give it a try. And if they got good games on there, well, here we go. Then it's the 6th platform that I install. So every little fucking publisher, sorry for my language, can just earn extra money, right? Uplay, Steam, Origin, the Rockstar Social Club. And now we're getting Xbox One or like Xbox Live or whatever. Honestly, it's not the right way, and I just hate it when people say they want to do one thing and then do the opposite, you know, just out of pure profit. Don't like it. Not a big fan of that. And then I think, just speaking a little bit about the press conference from Xbox, we will probably see more third-party exclusives, kind of like they did it with Tomb Raider, which was time exclusive. And I think we're going to see a bit more of that because Xbox has lost this big element in their presentation that was exclusive and they could throw out into the crowd, which was the Call of Duty launch. They don't have that anymore. I think now Call of Duty runs exclusive or comes out a bit earlier exclusive on PlayStation 4, and also people get the map packs earlier. So the deal that Xbox had, now PlayStation has it. So they need new titles, and I think they're going to show a few of those. A lot of people are excited about Scalebound. It looks great. Crackdown 3, I think, will be a highlight. And then I saw this game they call The Witness, which also looks very interesting. So it's a lot there. Xbox has a lot to show and to talk about. So I can't wait to see how it actually pans out. And then second, on the 13th at 8 p.m. British Standard Time, we have the infamous PC gaming show. And you can hear the irony in my voice because if you watched last year's PC gaming show, it was quite ridiculous. But what can we expect? Unfortunately, no Star Citizen. They already announced that they're not going to be at E3 this year. We're definitely going to see some stuff from Nvidia. We're going to see some stuff from AMD. I really hope, the guys are present there and show their hardware and show what they can do. I would hope that the PC gaming show gets a little bit more technical, right? So if you have an Nvidia presentation, why not let them talk for 5 minutes or something about like new tessellation effects or a new method, how we can make smoke more realistic, or just some features that the new Nvidia chips have that we couldn't do before, and we push the boundaries of technology and graphics, right? Why not have that? I think that would be cool. It felt quite forced last year, and there were way too many people and all these chopped off slots where people just run in and say a few words. And then every now and then you had a guy just coming out, standing in the front stage, giving like a 30-second speech, disappearing again and not being interviewed. It was so awkward. It was a horrible show. So I hope they improve on that this year. The other big thing that they hopefully talk about at the PC gaming show is VR, right? Are we going to see something from Oculus now that it's out? Maybe something from HTC Vive, where they're going to promote their product and show how the PC delivers the superior VR experience? I don't know. So I think there's a lot of stuff that could happen at it, but considering that they probably have a quite low budget, as they did last year, I think most of these things are not going to happen. But whatever it is, I still appreciate it's there. And as a PC gamer, I'm very happy that I'm represented there with the PC gaming show. It's a good thing, and it's a step in the right direction. And maybe in 10 years, it's a massive thing, right? And they've got millions of budgets. Who knows? And this is the beginning. So I am excited, and I will definitely watch the PC gaming show at E3. Now, Ubisoft. Okay, Ubisoft is always a weird mixture between highlight and disappointment for me. I normally finish their E3 presentations thinking, wow, that was amazing, right? Like they show stuff, but then after a period of time, games get downgraded, and often they just simply don't deliver on what these trailers promised in a way. So I think, again, we have to be so careful. We know already that they're going to show Watch Dogs 2, which is cool. To be fair, I haven't played the first game yet. I need time to do that, and I just don't have that. But I'm curious to see what they learned out of all these downgrade debacles that they had, right? Where people just freaked out completely. We just remember Watch Dogs, and there are a few more examples. So maybe they step it down a notch this year. I wonder when they're going to show games like, for instance, Wildlands, right? Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, which looks awesome. Are we going to see these high-end 1080p, all details, ultra details, PC renders again, as we've seen it in the past? Or are they actually going to show something that is closer to a console version this year in order to manage expectations, right? So that's quite curious. That's something that I really want to see, and I'm keen to see at the Ubisoft show. But overall, I mean, as much as games get downgraded and yada yada, there are so many debates about it. Basically, they have great games, right? Like the whole Tom Clancy series, I think that developed really good since Future Soldier completely turned around. Previously, it was like a military simulation niche thing, and now it's such a big brand, right? Ghost Recon Wildlands looks really, really good. So they have that, and I'm excited. They have a new South Park game, The Fractured But Whole, which I am also excited about. I love the first game, big South Park fan. At least I used to be a big South Park fan. I still love it, but I'm not following it as much as I used in the past. But I'm sure the game's going to be great. I'm sure the game's going to be funny. Definitely going to play it. I think we're going to see a new Assassin's Creed game. So there's so much stuff, there's much more that Ubisoft can talk about, right? And that's just exciting. So I always love and hate at the same time, because they overpromise, the Ubisoft press conferences. But at least we're going to see games there, right? Like, that is all about games. And I think the rest is going to be a lot about new consoles and hardware. Speaking of which, we're going to jump over to Sony. And everyone knows that we can expect the same strategy that Microsoft is running with their next Xbox, with an upgrade. We can expect from Sony with the PlayStation 4K, or however it will be called, the next iteration with stronger hardware of the PlayStation. Now, if that happens, and I think chances are very good that it will happen, then we get two new hardware pieces this year, and basically Sony and Microsoft both reveal new upgraded versions of their current console. So what does that mean? Right? What will happen if they do that? First of all, consumers and the owners of the current gen, like the actual hardware right now, will feel disappointed. Even Microsoft says all the games that come to the new console in higher res will also come to your console, and they will look fantastic. We're not going to make compromises. People will be disappointed. Developers will have to create two versions of their game. Right, on your disk, basically you need two settings. You put it in, it recognizes what hardware you have, boom. You then run the better or the lower versions, which is a pain. It means more work, it means more hours, it means more cost for games and all that. It's a chain reaction. So Microsoft knows that, and Sony, obviously, they are aware of it. So that will definitely happen, that you will need two versions. It shows how significantly both parties have misjudged the hardware in their boxes, only 3 years after launch. That is ridiculous. And I remember these consoles coming out, the Xbox One and PS4, and I saw the hardware and I was like, okay, it's x86, that's great, right? That's good. Lets you port games quickly, but this hardware is so outdated already. At that time, it was already so slow. And we know, just look at GTA 5 on the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3. It looks awesome for that generation of hardware. So you can tickle out all that extra power that you basically can use for your games. It worked in the past, but this time it seems like a different scenario. 4K is kind of becoming the standard on PC right now. It will take another 2, 3, 4 years, I believe, but then everyone on PC will basically, who's like serious about gaming, will basically play on 4K. People demand higher resolutions, and people basically want better graphics, right? So I think we can really see that Sony and Microsoft have misjudged the situation, and now they're paying the price for it. They're going to have to create a new piece of hardware. There will probably be an Xbox Slim, right? And then there will be an upgraded Xbox. I didn't speak about that earlier, but I just want to add that into the mix. And then what will also happen if we get these two new pieces of hardware this year is that they will basically split gamers in half, right? There will be the premium gamers, people who have the money to throw it out for the new Xbox 1.5 or PS4K, and then there are the peasant gamers, right? And no offense, I don't want to offend anyone, but gamers who own the older, slightly outdated consoles will simply feel underprivileged, right? And then there are still the PC gamers who also keep always going on about the PC Master Race and all that shit, and you will just feel like you're playing on an outdated hardware, and it will just impact your experience, and you will not enjoy it as much anymore, and it's a shame, right? And it shouldn't be like that. So I think there are loads of reasons why they really shouldn't do that with the two consoles, but I'm afraid they're gonna do it, and I'm quite curious to see how it pans out in the long run. Now, guys, this video is already way too long. I'm gonna cut it here. There are a million more things that I could talk about when it comes to E3, but I have to draw the line somewhere. Guys, leave me your thoughts down in the comment section below. What excites you about E3? If you're excited, I might do another video before it actually launches in about a week from now, just talking about the topics that get you guys excited. So leave your thoughts underneath, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Again, thanks to everyone who's new to the channel. I'm really happy to have you all on board. If I don't see you guys anymore before E3, I hope you enjoy E3. I'm definitely going to cover it in some way. I'm going to talk about the stuff that they're going to announce and everything that I'm excited about. So stay tuned on the channel. Thanks to everyone for subscribing. I hope you enjoyed the content. Welcome, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Bye.